Welcome back to OT Sports. Today we got our Pac-12 conference tournament prediction video. If you include this video, we have 25 college basketball conference tournament videos out already. We're doing all 32, and they will be done within the next 2 days. So, very exciting time to be on this channel. This is the best place for March Madness content. We are a couple days away from Selection Sunday. It's very exciting stuff. If you're new around here, make sure you go down there and subscribe to this channel. Along with college basketball, we do college football, NFL, NBA, and MLB. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, go down there and hit the subscribe button. Turn on the noties. As always, my Discord X linked in the description. Join that, follow that. And thank you guys for the support recently. We're almost at 100 subscribers. Very, very appreciative of that. So I just wanted to do my due diligence and thank you guys. But yeah, let's get right into this bracket now. So we got 12 teams in the Pac-12 for the final season of the Pac-12. It's very sad, but you know, conference realignment. It is what it is. So yeah, like I said, the final season of the Pac-12, and let's see who comes out away with this. So 8-seeded Washington taking on 9-seeded USC, and I had my pick set for this yesterday. I predicted the whole thing yesterday, but when I was getting ready to record this, I actually switched my pick here. I ended up going with USC. I just think they have a little bit more upside here than Washington. They, obviously Isaiah Collier, Boogie Ellis, they have Bronny James. They have a lot of guys who can just go out there and take over a game, and that's kind of why I thought they would be really good. I think I predicted them to finish first in the Pac-12 this season, in the preseason. They obviously did not live up to expectations, but it is what it is. But I think USC should be able to take down Washington. They just beat Arizona. Maybe that's a sign that they're getting hot. Maybe they make a late push, but having to go up against Arizona again, it's hard to beat them twice. It's hard to beat them even one time, so beating them a second time will be very tough. That is a tough draw for them. If they were the 7 seed or the 10 seed, I mean any other seed besides 8 or 9, they would have an easier path, I think. But playing up against Arizona in the second round does suck for them. USC is a little bit lower in KenPom than Washington, which is why I originally went with Washington. But I am going to go with USC just because I think one of their guys could take over a game. 5-seeded UCLA taking on 12-seeded Oregon State. Now UCLA, also another team that disappointed this season, but they're still 5th in the Pac-12, which I didn't realize. They're actually making a little bit of a late push here. They've been doing pretty solid recently. They're 15 and 16 on the year, but they have a almost top 40 defense. I think that will be enough to get them to beat the lowest ranked team in this conference in Oregon State. Oregon State's been pretty bad this year. They don't really have any redeeming qualities. I don't really like Oregon State. I don't think they really have a chance in this one. I'm going to go ahead and take the Bruins. The 7-10 game, Cal taking on Stanford. So when I was predicting this one, I was thinking, Stanford looks like the pretty obvious choice here, and I'm probably going to go with them. But for some reason, I had it in my head Stanford was the 7 seed, and I was thinking, well, I don't want to go only chalk. I looked back; they're the 10 seed, so I'm going to go ahead and take Stanford. They just look like the better team to me. They have a better overall record than them. They're 98th in offense, 129th in defense. Compared to Cal's 123 in offense, 137 in defense. So their defenses are kind of in the same range, but Stanford just has much better offense than them. They like to speed the game up quite a bit, and they've actually played a similar schedule to Cal. I'm going to go ahead and take Stanford. I think they'll be able to get this one done. 6-seeded Utah taking on 11-seeded Arizona State. Now, Utah has a lot of work to do. I don't want to say a lot, but they have some work to do to get into the tournament. They were one of those teams that I was pretty high on at certain points in the year. I've cooled off on them. They're all the way down at the 6th seed in this tournament, which really surprised me. I thought they'd be around, at least 5, possibly 4. They're all the way down at 6, which is pretty unfortunate. They just lost a huge game against Oregon. That was a bubble game. They got some work to do. I think they'll be able to take down Arizona State. That's kind of a, even if they win this one, they probably won't get in. They need to get one or two quality wins in this tournament for me to think they are deserving of getting into the tournament. They're 51st in KenPom, so very good there. 50th in offense, 53rd in defense. They play very fast. It's not that they're a bad team. They've played one of the toughest schedules in the country, so that doesn't help them there. But you got to get a couple more wins. I think if they can win, if they beat Colorado, it's going to be tough for them not to get in, because that would put them at 20 wins, 20 and 14 if they lose the next round. That would be tough for them not to get in. We'll see what happens. I think they'll be able to take down the Sun Devils, though. So 1-seeded Arizona taking on 9-seeded USC. Now, like I said, I feel like USC is poised to make a run in this tournament, and I'm not the hugest, I'm not that high in Arizona. I think they're a good team and all, but I'm not like super confident in their abilities to make it, to the Final Four in March Madness. I think they could. They have the talent to do. They have the numbers. It's just kind of a gut feeling with for me. It's unfortunate though that USC has to play Arizona because they just really dominated them. If they were to have, lost to them, I honestly, in a close game, I'd honestly feel better with taking them here. But I just don't see Arizona losing to the same team in back-to-back games. I gotta go with Arizona. I just think they're better than that. They are the highest-ranked KenPom team by quite a significant margin. They're sixth in the country, 24-7 overall on the year, 8th in offense, 15th in defense. They're one of the fastest teams in the league. Caleb Love, it has been amazing. Omar Ballo, and yeah, they've played one of the toughest schedules in the country, and they're still putting up, 24 wins. They're a very good team. I have to go with them here over USC. As much as I think USC has what it takes to make a little bit of a run, I got to go with Arizona. 4-seeded Oregon taking on 5-seeded UCLA. Now, this one made me think for a little bit. UCLA is one of those teams, like I said, who's made a little bit of a surge recently, late in the year. And I've seen a lot of people saying watch out for them in this tournament, but I'm going to go ahead and take Oregon. Oregon's one of those teams who is on the bubble. They're going to need... if they lose this game, they might not get in. If they win, that might be enough to get them in, but they're kind of in the same boat as Utah. They need to, for sure, they can't lose their first game. If they lose their first game, they'll probably get out, especially Utah. Oregon has a little bit of more wiggle room just because Oregon just beat Utah, but Oregon, you don't want to play around. You got to take care of business. I think they will. UCLA is actually the 8th highest ranked team in KenPom, so they're not super good. The defense could give them some troubles, but Oregon has a very solid offense and defense. They're a little bit more well-rounded. I'm going to go ahead and take the Ducks to take care of UCLA. 2-seeded Washington State taking on 10-seeded Stanford. Now, Washington State is one of those teams that came out of nowhere this year. I had them finishing last in my preseason Pac-12 tournament predictions, and they have put together a phenomenal season, 23-8 on the year, 53rd in offense, 29th in defense. They are a very good team. I'm going to go ahead and take them over Stanford. They've beaten Arizona twice on the road and at home. Very impressive stuff there. They have some quality wins. I really like this Washington State team. I think they'll be able to get it done against Stanford. And yeah, they'll for sure make the tournament. Probably as a 6 or a 7 seed. But they have what it takes to make the Sweet 16, in my opinion. I really like this Washington State team. Good for them, having an amazing season. I'm going to go ahead and take them in to move on to the semifinals. 3-seeded Colorado taking on 6-seeded Utah. Now, this is another prime bubble matchup. Colorado is on the right side of the bubble right now. But if they were to lose this one, it might be enough to knock them out, because Utah is currently out of the tournament as it stands right now, but they have what it takes to get themselves back in, and they have a pretty favorable path. If they were to win all their games, they'll pick up a win over Colorado, potentially Washington State, and then potentially either Arizona or Oregon. So Utah has, the path here to get into this tournament, or to get into March Madness. But Colorado has just been playing really good basketball recently. They are another one of those teams that I feel like is kind of underrated. 22-9. I've actually been high on Colorado since the start of the season. In my preseason poll, I think I had them 15 in the country. Now, obviously, they're not there now, but 22-9. I mean, that's only one game worse than Washington State's record, and they're getting all this praise. 22nd in offense and 64th in defense. They have an elite offense. Tristan da Silva is a phenomenal player. He played there last year, so they have some experience on this team. Like I said, Utah does really need this win, but Colorado has just been very good recently. They're on a 6-game win streak. I think they go ahead and stay hot, and they get a win over Utah, probably knocking Utah out of the tournament. KJ Simpson has also been amazing for them. They have a really good team. Eddie Lampkin, transfer, he's really good. I really like the Buffaloes this season, so I'm gonna go ahead and take them to move on to the semifinals. So it's a little bit chalky, but I just think these are the 4 best teams. Utah could definitely prove me wrong, and I wouldn't put it past them to make a run, but I gotta go with Colorado. They've just been playing really good recently now. Arizona and Oregon. So like I said, Oregon, if they get this win, they'll be in the tournament. I can guarantee you that. If they lose, I don't know, they're really just on the edge. It could go either way. I think if they win UCLA, they probably will get in, especially if Utah gets out, when I think they will. And it depends on what the other bubble teams around. If there's no bid steals, that would really help out Oregon. I don't think they're capable of winning this one. I'm gonna go ahead and take Arizona. Oregon, just not. They're the 6th highest ranked KenPom team, 62nd in offense, 88th in defense. I don't see them getting past Arizona. I really think there's only 2 teams in this conference capable of beating Arizona. And that's not, I don't want to say that, but in this tournament, I think there's. Actually, I'll say USC could do it just because they just did it. But I don't think Oregon, honestly, just matchup-wise, I don't think they match up very well against Arizona. I'm going to go ahead and take the Wildcats to move on to the championship game. Now we got 2-seeded Washington State versus 3-seeded Colorado. And I think these are the 2 teams that I think could give Arizona the most trouble. Washington State's already beat them twice. So realistically, beating them a 3rd time is going to be tough. Colorado actually has not beat them yet. Arizona beat them twice, I believe. Colorado, like I said, I think they're very underrated. I'm really high on them. Both these teams I really do like. But Colorado, 20 spots higher in KenPom. They have a 30 spots higher in offense, but they are a little bit more offensive heavy. Washington State is the more well-rounded team. But I think Colorado's tempo and high pace, and just the fact that they have some guys that can just go out there and get you a bucket. They've been playing amazing recently. Like I said, 6-game win streak. They've taken down some solid teams in that streak. Utah being one of them, USC, Oregon. I think they go out there and they get it done over Washington State. I'm going to go ahead and take the Buffaloes. I think they can do it here. So I think Colorado gets to the conference title game. And now this sets up a very intriguing matchup for me. Arizona taking on Colorado. So Omar Ballo is kind of a wild card here because I think he could give Colorado some troubles. Eddie Lampkin is very good for them at center, but I don't think he's as good as Arizona's big men. So I think that could give Colorado some trouble, but Kelvin Simpson, or sorry, not Kelvin Simpson. I'm thinking of Houston's coach. I don't know why I keep saying that. KJ Simpson, Tristan da Silva. Like I said, Eddie Lampkin's been very good for them. Those are just the guys off the top of my head, but those three guys right there, I know they have some other guys too that are averaging over 10 a game. Those are the only three I can think of right now for some reason. I think they're hot right now. I think they continue that streak into the tournament. I think they upset Arizona, and I'm gonna go ahead and have them win the Pac-12 tournament. I've seen a lot of people pick Arizona, seen some people take Washington State, and I've seen very few people take Colorado. I think Colorado has what it takes to get this one done. Like I said, they have guys who can just go and take over a game. Arizona does too. Don't get me wrong, Caleb Love is that type of player. But Colorado, 6-game win streak. If they head into Arizona on an 8-game, it's not in Arizona, but if they head into this Arizona game on an 8-game win streak with, the talented roster they have, that's going to be a very scary game for the Wildcats. Now, Arizona does really need to win this conference tournament if they want to get in to get on the 1 seed line. They'll probably, if they don't win, they'll probably end up with a 2 seed. I think UNC wins the ACC. So even if they do win the Pac-12 tournament, it's most likely that they put UNC as a 1 over Arizona. Arizona need Tennessee and UNC to lose before the title game, because I think if either of them gets to the title game, they don't even have to win. I don't think Arizona's getting the 1 seed. But we will see. I'm going to go ahead and take Colorado. I think they secure their spot in the tournament. Right now, they're probably in as it stands, but losing to Utah could be enough to knock them out. I'm not sure. But I think they secure their spot and get the automatic qualifier. And, yeah, I think Colorado gets in to the NCAA tournament. And I think they win the last Pac-12 tournament ever. So, yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you go down there, leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. We do college basketball, college football, NFL, NBA, and MLB. Popping up on the screen either right now or shortly is our 2 most recent conference tournament prediction videos. Go check those out if you haven't already. As always, Discord X linked in the description. Join that, follow that. And yeah, we're almost at 100 subs. Thank you guys for the support. I will see you guys in a little bit with some more conference tournament predictions. Hope you guys enjoyed this one.